Hey, Picks and Parlay family, it's me, Detroit Lenny, here with a free NFL preview for my Detroit Lions here. We're going to talk a little season review, a little preview, I should say. With me to do that, we're going to bring in Nicholas Earle from Earle Sports Bets, who just wants to give me a lot of crap on this. So, Nick Earle, we're gonna take all our personal feelings out of this, and the Detroit Lions season win total sits at 9.5. Go ahead. Poke the bear.
Yeah, I promise you won't hate me afterwards on this one. But when I'm looking at the Detroit Lions here, I understand they are an improved team. They do have some promise with them. The only problem is everybody seems to love this team, and that's not a bad thing. But it's the Detroit Lions. There's certain teams when everybody's on them, you want to go the opposite way, and this is one of them. They are favored to win their division. This is a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 10 years, and they're favored to win their division. Looking at their schedule here, I think it's kind of tough right out of the gate. They go to Kansas City. I think Kansas City wins that game. They come home to play Seattle. That's not an easy matchup because Seattle was much improved last year. I do think they can take a step down this year. They play the Falcons, which who knows what the Falcons are going to look like this year. Then they go to Green Bay. That's always a tough matchup, even with Jordan Love. I think Green Bay is going to be better than people think they are. They will be this year. I think Minnesota is going to be better than people think they will be this year. They play Carolina. I think that's a win. They play Tampa Bay. That's a win. Then they play Baltimore in Baltimore. I think they lose that game. Then they play at home against Vegas. There's a winnable game. But then they play the Chargers. I think they split out against the Packers. I think they might split out against the Bears. I think the Bears could be sneaky this year, and I think that they split out against Minnesota, if not lose both. They go to New Orleans, which is not an easy game. I think, and they play at home against Denver, which I think the Broncos are an improved team, and they go to Dallas. So this is not an easy schedule that the Detroit Lions have this year. And with what I believe are decent teams around them in their division with Green Bay, even though Jordan Love is the quarterback for Green Bay now, I still think that's addition by subtraction with the Green Bay Packers because I think that they're going to feel like the elephant off their chest with Aaron Rodgers leaving. And I still think the Vikings are the team to beat in this division. I'm probably going to bet the Vikings to win the division, to be completely honest. And I'm sorry, Lenny. I think this is probably a 9-8 or an 8-9 football team that misses the playoffs again. And the fact that everybody loves the Lions kind of scares me off the Lions here. Now, if they were plus money to make the playoffs and they were at like 7.5 wins, this is a totally different conversation. I think this number is too high, and I don't think we should be laying any type of chalk for a team that's missed the playoffs how many straight years to make the playoffs. So I apologize, Lenny. Under 9.5 wins and no playoffs for the Lions this year.
That's fair. Listen, all great arguments. I mean, I understand that. I'm not going to ramble on about the change of the culture and all that and all, I mean, it is what it is. Here's where I kind of think we go sideways is the last 3 games of the year at Minnesota, at Dallas, and then at home against Minnesota. Going into the 3-game stretch, I have them at 9 wins right there. I have them right there at 9 wins. So I have them losing to Kansas City. Yep. I do have them beating Seattle at home, Atlanta at home. That home opener for Seattle will be a tough game, but I think they win that. They beat Green Bay in September. That's a winnable game. Keep in mind they went 5-1 in the division last year, only losing to Minnesota in Minnesota. So they beat Carolina. They beat Tampa. They lose to Baltimore. They beat Vegas. They're 6-2 going into the bye week. That's where I have it at. That's where I legit have that at. And then the Chargers, they lose to them. They beat the Bears. They beat Packers again.
I think they split against the Packers. Whatever. I think they split against the Packers. They don't win both against them. I don't think the Packers are as bad as people think they will be this year.
I don't either. But I see them, like I said, I got them at 9 wins going into the 2 games against Minnesota. So split against Minnesota and you get 10 for me. I do think they compete for that division because Minnesota takes a step back. Green Bay's better. Chicago, though, I don't know if they win 4 games. I looked at that.
I think Chicago will win 7-8 games this year. I think Chicago, we're going to see an improvement with Justin Fields in his next year here. We saw him at the end of the year start to develop as both a passer and a runner. So, I mean, I think this is a tough division.
Right.
And I can see this is very similar to the AFC North, where I think everybody's going to beat the crap out of everybody. Like, I think this division is destined for teams to split out.
I will say this. I say this all the time on shows. Fat guys win Super Bowls. And the Lions offensive line has been together for a few years now.
Yes.
And they're top 10 ranked offensive line in the league.
I'm not saying they're not an improved team, just the numbers. This is just way too much.
Yeah, I got them at 10, 11 wins. We're not that far off. But
yeah, I have them at 9 wins this year.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. The Detroit Lions are going 17-0 and winning the Super Bowl, just like everybody said. It does. I will say this. It scares the hell out of me that everybody likes the Lions. I will say that. I don't like that everybody likes them. But if you're looking for more of Nick Earle's premium plays from Earle Sports Bets, check out the promo code MLB. Save yourself 20% off the entire website over at picksandparlays.net. Till then, he says under 9.5 and miss the playoffs. I'm saying 17-0, book the trip. Let's go. Lions Super Bowl. I'm messing around. 10, 11 wins is where I really think they fall at. But that's where you're gonna get from us. I'm Detroit Lenny, Picks and Parlay. Nick's Earle Sports Bets. Good luck, everybody, unless you're against us. Take care.